Alex Goad, and I'd like to welcome you to this short Players with Money video. I'm just a regular guy like you and anybody else, but I've been working online for a couple of years, and last year I finally cracked the secret ClickBank code and I was able to put out 3 best-selling products that made me an absolute pile of cash. And I've basically turned this into a formula that anybody can apply. So I just want to show you really quickly what the results were, and then we'll get back to how this applies to you.
Okay, so without making any kind of big show out of this, let's just log in and have a look at the results that came from applying the system the last 3 times. So the first time was for a project called Project Black Mask, and this launched in June of 2007. So that was quite a while ago, but as you can see in 2007 the total payout, this is not commission, this is pure cash in pocket. And if you add that to 2008, you're up to over $200,000 for this particular project. And in the beginning, as you can see, the initial checks that were collected in hand, well, the first one was, $133,000 and some dollars. And then, of course, there was a bunch of other nice ones that came along after that. So I said earlier that these 3 bestsellers were actually done in 2007. Well, the truth, or the more accurate version of that, is that they were all done in the last 6 months of 2007. So let's go look at the next one. Okay, the next account I want to show you is Google Pay. And as you saw, I have piles of accounts. Because there's also other products that were done, and there's accounts that I use for affiliate promotions. But I think just showing you these particular parts over here, you pretty much get the idea. Okay, so this was for a project called Google Payload, and as you can see in 2007 that made approximately almost $130,000 and another $35,000 in 2008. And this also resulted early on in some pretty interesting checks that were received in hand. So one for $85,000, one for almost $40,000, and then of course some other checks that weren't too bad. So that's almost $160,000 in total for that one so far. Now, one important thing to realize is that these commissions are like the tip of the iceberg, because this is the front end of the market domination principle. So this money that you just saw here, while it's really interesting to get, it's also almost just like a foot in the door of the market, a wedge that you can use to go and multiply those earnings and commissions, which is what happened on all these projects. So what you're seeing here on the front end is only like a smaller percentage of what actually happened in total. But anyways, let's not stretch this on. Let's go on to the next one. So for this one, I've just jumped straight to a screenshot, and there's a good reason for that, is because I was working with other people on this, and they don't necessarily want to be revealing the exact details because they would prefer to remain private. But the important thing to show here is that this is actually just barely 1 week later after the Google Payload. But as you can see, in just these 5 days, it cracked over $200,000 in cash in pocket. And all this to say that, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I was able to do it twice in a period of 7 days. And that just goes to show you that it's really not that hard when you know the system and you have the formula to apply.
So you might be wondering right now, do I have any kind of secret magic powers or something that I'm not telling you or that I'm not willing to reveal that makes my situation special and it makes it that I can do this but you can't do this? Well, the short answer to that is no. And I really do deeply believe that you can do this as long as you're able to answer yes to the 9 questions that follow.
Okay, so this is a small list written by one of my heroes, a guy called Gary Halbert, who is definitely responsible for inspiring me beyond belief and also doing the same thing for, I would estimate, thousands of people. And what he's describing here is a player with money, or a future player with money. And what he's describing here is not only rules to live life by, but rules to do business by. And if you can answer yes to this, well, you're perfect for this, and chances are excellent that success for you is right around the corner. So let's stop talking and get right to it. So 1, you must have a life, and 2, you must have a sense of humor, And 3, you must have intelligence and be an independent thinker, and you must be a generous and giving person, but at the same time, you must refuse to take shit from anyone that doesn't have a gun to your head, and you must be willing to take chances and cheerfully accept losses. And you must have the capacity and courage for true intimacy with your loved ones, friends, and sometimes even associates and strangers. And you must be wealthy always in your mind, and therefore very often in your pocket. And you must be honest and have integrity, not defined by laws, but rather by the inner core of your being. So it really doesn't sound that hard, and it's not. All this really says is that in your mind and yourself you've got a clean slate, and when presented with the right system and the right opportunity, you don't have all these mental blockades that are going to stop you. And so essentially, if you're not a player with money today, it's just going to take very little to transform you into one.
Okay, so if that sounds fair to you and that sounds like you, then we're already speaking the same language. And while I've got you here, I think you've gotten to know me a little bit better, and I want to tell you that I've actually saved the best for the next video. And this is a secret method that I developed and that I kind of stumbled upon, whereby you're essentially able to make a huge pile of money, of affiliate commissions, in a single day, with no list, no advertising, and no money. And actually I showed this to a student of mine, and I just threw the blueprint in his hands, and I let him work with it, and the first time he used it, he made $6,643 in affiliate commissions, not sales, commission in his pocket in one day, no list, no advertising, no money. So that's what I'm going to show you in the next video. I strongly encourage you to enter your name and email in the box below so that I can send you the link once it's ready. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.